right, ladies and gents, welcome to the 25-8 podcast. Sudman, how you doing, brother?
Let's go,
Good?
baby.
Hell yeah. Good stuff. Today we got two special guests with us.
Very special.
Very special guests with us. Have their own podcast. One of them has actually showed us some tips and tricks before we even started our own.
Yes, sir.
And showed us how to, mess with the cameras and the mics and stuff like that. So we're happy to have them on.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, they have their own podcast, super successful now. They started off with just like short clips and now venturing off to full podcast episodes on YouTube. So you guys will see who they are after this. But yeah, man, fuck, what do you think, man?
Well, let's welcome him. Christian, Nelly.
Christian,
how you doing?
and Nelly,
What's
What's
up,
up,
guys?
guys?
Hey,
Damn.
guys.
Welcome to the 25-8, guys.
I know. It's so
Damn.
nice to be
Hell
here.
yeah. How do you guys feel being on the other side of a podcast?
You know what? I think it's fun because, number one, it's nice to be the guest rather than the host
Right.
because
Right.
there's so
Yeah.
much work that goes into being a host.
Yeah.
So true.
And then secondly, I mean, no one knows this, but like a Zoom call with the three of us
Yeah, I remember
remember
that.
that? Yeah.
walking through
yeah.
Premiere Pro and
Yep.
like, how do we set this up? How do we do this?
Dude, straight up. Yeah, you helped
And
us out a lot.
It was
honestly.
like
Yeah.
the true inception of like 25-8, which I think was sick. I mean, obviously you
sure.
had filmed
super
prior, but the actual like production.
No,
of it.
yeah.
No,
Ty,
yeah.
Ty hit me up. He's like, "Hey, dog, I got a guy that he has his own podcast going, knows more shit than we do. Like, what do you think about setting up a Zoom
Seriously.
call and fucking figuring this out?" And it was like a 10 p.m. call, like on a
Yeah, it was
Tuesday. or
late.
something.
Yeah.
I remember
so I
this.
appreciate
I
you, bro.
remember hearing
Yeah,
him. I was
no,
like,
thank
oh,
you.
that's so
Yeah.
cool. He's
So
like,
he
helping
taught
me
us like
out.
how to edit on Premiere. Premiere's super fucking difficult.
I hate it.
Yeah.
There's so
Yeah.
much stuff to it.
The
so,
worst.
thank
don't
you
know
for
what's going
fucking
on.
showing
Oh
us
yeah,
that.
we appreciate
But
it.
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Appreciate
welcome
it.
to the 25-8,
It took
bro.
how many episodes to get here? What episode is this for you guys?
This is gonna be episode 11 for us.
Wow,
bro. Yeah.
okay.
So welcome
I
to
don't
episode 11.
I don't even know how many we've had.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
Well, you
We'll
guys,
get into that.
you guys
Yeah.
kind of dove
Yeah.
into it a little different than we did,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So we did the more like full form, on YouTube.
Structure.
And you guys started off as just short clips, build your audience, and then went on to the full form, right?
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that. Why'd you guys want to go that route instead of posting the full on episodes?
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like, I mean, when we first started doing that, it's because separately we've had our own YouTube channels.
Oh, have you? No way.
I mean,
Doing what?
we haven't posted in years.
Yeah,
no,
so
I've
it's
seen
cool.
a couple.
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. It's
Doing what? Like doing what?
just the most basic
Yeah,
vlogs.
for him, I mean, it's because we travel a lot and he'll make some really good content.
Yeah, you guys went
and use
to
that.
Costa Rica.
Costa
Right?
Rica,
Yeah,
we
Cabo,
went to
Hawaii.
we
Yeah.
went to Hawaii, DR, But for me, it was like makeup and get ready with me and stuff.
Sure.
And I love doing makeup
Yeah.
and stuff. So it was,
Sick.
it was like doing our own separate things.
Yeah.
But YouTube had such a slow growth that I feel like, well, personally for me, it was like unmotivating a little bit.
Yeah,
and
that's actually
TikTok and
true.
Instagram, the growth is a little more like fast paced.
On what? TikTok?
Yes.
On TikTok and
Well,
Instagram.
just in general, the
Yeah.
possibility of going viral with long form YouTube content is like slim to
Slow
none.
Yeah.
progression.
Versus like
The
Reels
short
and
clips.
TikTok,
Right.
there's actually a possibility.
Yeah.
So I guess to answer it pretty simply, it's like we did the reverse way because we're impatient and we wanted like
Sure.
more of an audience
Hey.
quicker.
It worked.
Sick,
And
man.
hopefully it'll funnel over to YouTube now that we're actually posting more long form content.
Yeah.
So you guys
But-
are posting the short clips on TikTok and all that
Yeah,
stuff. And
in Reels
then
and
kind of
yeah.
got into.
Because that's what was blowing up. I mean, when podcasts became a thing,
Yeah.
we were watching them on TikTok first.
Yes.
So
you know?
how
So-
long? How long have you guys been doing this?
When was our first episode?
It was.
I
end
think
of
it was
last year.
it was late 2022. It was like December.
Yeah.
So
Dude,
I,
so only a year.
I think
Yeah.
it's been just about 8 months or so.
Bro, and your podcast has fucking 10,000 followers now.
Yeah, I know.
You got a
Crazy.
million views on the one, right?
Yeah,
Bro.
well,
Yeah, on a couple, I think.
so I mean, I think one video has 2.5 million, and then a whole bunch are like in the 50, 60,000 or so.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
but that's all it takes, dude. It's one
I
video.
know,
It's
one
that's it.
catapult.
If it wasn't for a one viral video, that doesn't happen.
Sure.
So
Because we,
sure.
we watch podcast clips, and like I'm sure you guys do it too. We watch podcast clips, and we're just like, "Oh my god, that's so true," or "We're so," and
Yeah.
so using that as banter, it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Little-
relatable.
it's relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little
exactly.
quirky things where you got it's short and quick, and you're like, oh man, I relate to that.
Yeah.
Someone likes it and
Yes.
comments something quick, and it's like
Yeah.
super short and like neat
Yeah,
and done.
that's why the
You know
short
what I
form
mean? Yeah.
content worked
Yeah.
so much better.
I think it's because it's digestible because you'll see one clip that you like and then most likely you'll engage with it and then you'll see it again.
Yeah.
And then that's how people actually subscribe is they see a few short clips that they are like, all right, I fuck with this podcast. I'm actually going to go watch the long form at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
Versus the other way, I
Yeah.
feel like it's like like, am I going to commit to an hour for a
whole-
podcast that I
No,
really have
for
no
sure.
idea what it
for
is?
sure.
Yeah.
Even us, like our short clips get like hundreds of views, and then like our
Yes.
long form doesn't get that many.
Yeah.
But I mean, eventually it'll get there. But
Right.
the way you guys thought about that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. For
Which
sure.
I'm curious. I would assume 25/8 is a play on 24/7, obviously, going
So-
it a little above
Yeah,
and
I
beyond.
wanna know about
have you
that.
talked
I
about that on the
think
pod? I don't know
I
if
mean,
we have-
short.
It
kind of,
have-
I'm sure it's somewhat
A
repetitive.
lot of people think it's a fucking area code, and my boy here gets pissed
I
off.
know. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, it's not an area code.
No, yeah. I appreciate that.
Is
It's
that
like
your home
but-
area code?
So 24/7, everyone hustles 24/7, and our kind of thing is, hustle 25/8. Just
Right.
take it above and beyond, and get that extra mile, and like go more than the 24/7. So
Right.
that's our kind of lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like we don't really. I mean, we used to, but not really more recently, like go out on the weekends and stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
more like
okay.
just focused on the grind,
yeah.
more focused on the grind and getting our shit done. And like,
Yeah.
our businesses, the podcast, and our personal life, just like
Yeah.
fitness and all that stuff. So it's just 25/8. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Hustle. You know?
Sick.
Yeah.
But before we get into everything else, let's bring it back a little bit. I want to ask kind of individually,
Yeah.
like how I know that you were in kind of the whole video editing, all of that before. You've done some real estate things for houses and
Right.
videos like that.
Right.
So tell us
Christian?
like,
Mhm.
yeah.
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 Oh, cool.
So tell us like what, like individually, what got you kind of started in this realm?
Yeah. What made
so
you
to
guys want to even
speak,
start a
and, like,
podcast? Yeah.
And then we'll switch
Yeah.
and kind of bring it together on how it all came about.
So long story short, I got a GoPro for my birthday like
Yeah.
a few years ago.
Heck yeah.
And then slowly but surely wanting to build on top of that and just get a little bit more creative and up the quality and
What were you
So-
doing with the GoPro?
filming like stupid snowboarding videos or
Surfing.
like surfing and just like little action things. And
Yeah.
so eventually wanting to up the quality and then going down the rabbit hole of like watching YouTube videos of how to improve on it and then getting certain camera gear and then, shit, other people want this? Okay, let me have a media company, which also I think points to, because I'm a financial advisor Monday through Friday, and it's obviously very dry and not necessarily creative.
Right.
And this is the exact opposite. So it's kind of that creative outlet. So
Yeah. Hell yeah. What about you?
I feel like
Well, fiance's right here, so yeah, I think it's kind of
Yeah.
intertwined a little bit, right?
a little bit, yeah, because for me, it was more so like I was one of those girls that would post on Instagram so consistently all the time.
Doing what?
Honestly, it was like, oh, I'm an Instagram model, stuff
That's
like
cool,
that.
yeah.
That's how it was like
Hell
a
yeah.
thing. It was like I would take pictures of myself and stuff, and then once he got
Doing
a
like
camera,
tutorials on certain things, or
no, it was just like
yourself?
just
Yeah,
pictures,
cool.
just like me.
Yeah.
let's
wearing
be honest.
Yeah.
Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Let's
It was
be
kind
honest.
of thirst traps.
Hey, there we go. Hey, I
Like-
didn't want to say
yet,
it.
not
Hey,
Look,
yet.
baby, let's
hey,
call
your
a spade a
fiancé
spade.
said it, not us.
Let's call a spade a spade.
my boy got hot real quick.
You
He's
look
like,
really good.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
Well, it went from like me taking photos of myself on my phone to his camera. He would take photos, right? And so
Okay.
then, that's where it started like, oh, it was better content.
Sure.
And then that kind of realmed into like,
yeah.
I
She
can
gets a
make
free
content.
photographer for her
Ex-
Instagram.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, then brands reached out to me. So I was like a fitness, or I was an athlete for like Jed North Women.
Yeah,
And like different brands and do photo shoots because of him.
Sick.
And then we just started, again, bringing
Yeah.
that content. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, people want to see us. And
yeah,
I don't know.
that's dope.
I genuinely don't remember who came up with doing a podcast first. I feel like it was your idea.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And then I was just like,
Sick.
fuck it.
She's
We
like-
have the equipment.
So
I
you were
take
more
credit.
the editor, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
right? Yeah.
I do all the
How'd you get
editing.
into editing, or who taught you, or did you learn on your own?
I just
or
learned through YouTube.
No
Because
shit.
like
Damn. He did.
obviously
So did we.
the filming of
so
it
many videos.
that do on your own. I don't have the money to hire an editor, so
Yeah.
it's
Right.
like, all right, well, I got to bootstrap this and figure out how to edit. And so just learning on your own, that's
Yeah.
the best way to do it, in my opinion.
Dude, and you're so fucking good at it. We
Yeah.
watch your podcast all the time, and like everything comes out like super fucking crisp and
So
clean.
I appreciate it.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
fucking
Eventually, and
admirable,
like,
for
and as
sure.
you guys start to progress in that too, you're gonna get eyes for that and being like, as you already have, and it's just like little things to being
Exactly.
like, fuck, like
Yeah.
this quality is not where I want it to
Hell
be.
yeah.
He
And
literally
then-
has a mouse at home that is made for his editing. Like
I love
different
that.
it has like 17 buttons on it and each
Send me the
button is
link.
something different.
I need that shit. God
Yeah,
damn.
dude.
Yeah, because my shit takes forever, bro.
Yeah,
Just
honestly.
back and forth.
I think
What do you
efficiency-
edit on right now?
I was editing on Final Cut, and
Yeah.
now that we have our podcast, Premiere with the whole Autopod, like
AI.
AI.
So cool.
Bro,
Game
have you guys been
sound.
using that
So
now?
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
It literally takes, because previously it takes me a solid 2 hours to edit a full podcast
Yeah.
end to end. And with this, it literally takes
30 seconds.
maybe 35
Do
seconds.
you feel like it clips what you guys need to be seen? Like it captures like the good moments. You know what I mean? Like because like when you're clipping on your own, it's like you know what to like clip out, clip
Yeah.
in, and
You
like
know
what
what
to
you
zoom
want.
in and
It's
out.
not- yeah.
Does AI catch that same stuff?
That's a good question. And no, there are creative elements that AI can't pick up on.
Right.
But for me, I think sacrificing those small creative elements
For
in
the time.
exchange for the time is worth it to me.
Yeah.
Where like maybe I would want to zoom in on my face a little bit more and let it like stay on me.
Sure.
But AI doesn't pick up on that. Fuck it. Like if I get to save 2 hours every podcast,
Yeah.
I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Well, how often are you guys dropping?
That's a good question. We haven't really committed. So for this month, every day we're posting a clip
Yes.
at a minimum.
That was
Every
our
day.
commitment
Love
this
it.
month.
and
to
then
our
and then
audience.
4 full videos, so about once a week right now.
Damn.
So we'll see.
So you guys started off with the short stuff, and then most recently got into like the full form,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
So damn, how you guys now jumping into the full form? How was that?
Again, it doesn't really. So for us,
So what was like the kind of like getting into the full form? You know, because you guys have had the podcast for like a year now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And first of all, the podcast is named what?
Onda.
The Onda.
Yeah, Onda
Yeah.
Pod. Well, and that's actually one thing that I wanted to bring up is I don't really like our name, to be honest.
I do.
Well, so it's nice because
It's called
like,
the Onda podcast,
yes,
Yeah.
right?
and it's Spanish for like it's a vibe or
What's
like,
going on?
Yeah.
What you got going? I
Yeah.
mean, shit.
But-
When I
Like,
first
what's
heard
the
it, I was
vibe?
like, "That's dope as fuck."
But I think
Hell
by
yeah.
default, a lot of people think it's a play on like on the podcast, and it's like, I don't know. I'm thinking about like maybe we should change it.
No.
But how'd you come up with that name?
So there was a resort that we stayed at in Costa Rica called Onda,
Okay.
and it was a super sick resort, and
Really nice.
that's how I found that word and what it means. And it's like they're just all about vibes and a
Yeah.
good time, and
Yeah.
so
That makes
that's
sense.
where that originated.
Yeah. We played around with a lot of different like names, and they were not good.
Because I was gonna say
they
we were talking
cheesy.
off camera about it, and I was like, yeah, a lot of people think Nelly, you're like Latina, right? Like we were at
Yeah.
Bro,
we were
yeah,
out
no,
the other
literally.
night, and you're like, hey, what ethnicity do you think I am? I'm like, well, now that you say that, I'm gonna guess something different, but my first thought would be like you're some sort of like Latina.
Yeah, dude. So we went
So
golfing
that's
yesterday.
why I thought like the name would have came
Yeah.
from
Would have
that.
came from like you
Yeah.
speaking
We went
Spanish.
golfing yesterday, and I asked Christian. I was like, "Yeah, dude, the Onda, that's dope as fuck." So, is your girlfriend like Mexican or what? He's like, "No, she's not." I was like, "What? I thought she was Mexican."
That's
Holy
crazy.
shit!
I know.
So yeah,
She's a
No.
chameleon.
I feel like now in my life, everyone's like, oh, you could be this or you could be that. But I mean, I love my Latino friends, so
You're
yeah.
yeah.
whatever.
Hey,
I love
I'm happy. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Represent.
I
Hell
love
yeah.
how she's a chameleon because, well, first off, do you want to tell what you actually are?
Oh, I'm from Afghanistan.
Cool.
So Afghani.
Born there, born here,
No, born in
born here.
LA.
Yeah, cool.
Born here. I'm from
Dope,
LA.
dope.
I mean,
so
but
your
you s-
parents are from Afghanistan.
Yeah, they're both from
dope.
Afghanistan full. It's not I'm not mixed with anything. I'm just full
Yeah.
Afghani. But I just feel like it's my skin and then
your
You
hair.
got that skin,
Yeah.
baby. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm
the
saying?
skin, the black hair. Like if I wear
Yes.
gold jewelry, I wear hoops a lot.
Hell
People
yeah.
are like,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
She's
spicy
Latina
side.
for
And,
sure.
and with the little hair things,
Yeah,
like, yeah.
like-
I'm pretty
There you
spicy,
go.
so you
Yeah.
won't think.
But
That's
literally, I
dope.
just think it's funny how she's a chameleon in the sense that she will be whatever she wants to be in the sense of like around her
dope.
family, she's Afghani. If we're in Costa Rica, she can play it off as being Latina. And it's like, oh, that's kind of
There
cool.
you go.
But the amount
Here,
of
I'm just a
people,
gringo.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
No, the amount of people come up to. Okay, so we went to Cabo and Costa Rica, right? People come up to me, and they just speak Spanish.
Yep.
I am not fluent in Spanish, but he is.
No shit. You are.
You
can speak-
Yes, you
mi
are.
español,
You 100%
mi español
are.
es un chiste, pero me encanta español. Pero
Güey, I love this guy. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Hell
Pero-
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
es
That's
muy
dope.
malo. Pero
No, pues qué bueno. Sigue practicando.
sí,
Yeah,
I mean,
para que salga mejor.
Can you put subtitles
Se
on the
escucha
box?
bien. No.
but yeah,
Vamos
it's
a hablar
fun.
puro español ahorita,
I
eh?
know,
No
see?
más inglés. Sorry, guys.
It's pretty surprising. They see a gringo like me speak. I'm not fluent, but I can get around.
Where'd you
And
learn it? Or how'd you
School.
learn it?
Literally,
School?
like
Yeah?
just Spanish 1, 2, 3,
That's
and it
crazy.
just kind of stuck and built on it. And
Yeah.
watching like TV shows like Narcos
Yep.
and with subtitles,
Yeah.
it honestly teaches you a lot.
Yeah.
It really does.
But
man.
he's very
So true.
respectful. Like when we're around anyone who speaks Spanish or like parents who speak Spanish or anything, he's always speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
Like you are very respectful of culture.
Yeah.
Every time we were
That's
in
dope.
Costa Rica or Cabo or like any place speaking Spanish, he does not speak English. He makes
I
it a
try.
point.
That's
but-
good,
Like
bro.
the whole time.
that's
I'm the one
good.
that's like,
Yeah.
can I have camarones?
And I feel like
Yeah.
those people kind of like
Camarones.
give you a little more respect as well, because you're like trying to like be in their culture and respect it, and like, hey, I'm with you guys. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand your language and reciprocate that back. And
Right.
And so
Yeah,
you
for
know
sure.
that they're not talking shit behind your back.
Also
Right.
true. Very
Well,
true.
they can't
Straight
because they
up.
think I'm Latina.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
true.
true.
But
Damn,
then they
yeah.
think, but then when they see that I don't really speak Spanish as well as he does, they're like, "Hija tu mamá," like she would not be proud of you, like not speaking
Oh
Spanish.
my
I'm like,
God,
I'm not
yeah.
Mexican.
Yeah. Speaking of Latinas, you guys are thinking of moving to Miami, right?
We are.
Damn,
no,
dude.
we're not.
No,
thinking.
we're not
doing-
thinking
we're
about
doing
it. We're moving. We're doing it.
Do we have
yeah.
a date set?
End of the
End of
year,
the year.
bro. Yeah.
Oh
So
my
by New
gosh.
Year's, Tyler Sudman and I will fucking be out there, and
Yeah.
hopefully everything goes well. And yeah, man.
I
by
know.
the
We
end
were
of the year.
talking about it the other night.
Right.
You guys
This
are
is the-
maybe thinking about it, maybe not.
Kinda. We're still on the fence. But is this a new announcement to the pod that you guys are moving to
We
Miami?
kind
No,
of
we've-
brought it up a
we've
little bit
kind
on our
of
previous
teased
one,
it.
but like this is like, all right, full announcement.
Yeah,
Me and
yeah,
Tyler Sudman are gonna fucking get out of here and go to
Hell
Miami
yeah.
end of the year.
And so
Yeah.
you live in the
baby.
same building now. Is the
Yeah.
plan to do the same in Miami?
Potentially, if it works out.
We'll
Really?
see, man. We'll see
see.
because I mean, it's just hard. Like, you know how it is getting an apartment. You have
Oh
to
my
see the
God.
place, check
Yeah.
out different spots and stuff.
Yeah.
So like,
Right.
Multiple
we know
trips.
Miami, but we don't know like what it is to be like an actual like resident of
Living
Miami.
there,
You know what
Sure.
I mean? So I have to go like check out different apartment like complexes. His
Yeah.
dad lives there already, so
Right.
he might just
Right.
do stuff with his dad and get a spot there. But
Yeah.
I definitely got to like figure it out and like do a little research and like take a couple trips and see where I fucking like best. But
100%.
if I do Miami, I'm gonna do it right. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I want to move into like a correct spot.
Yeah, I hear
you
it's
know?
really cool. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, single, successful, good-looking boys
Damn,
in
yeah.
Miami.
There you
Even
go.
not single, even couples.
Oh, I
I'm
know,
telling you,
100%.
It's,
Yeah.
it's
It would still be
crazy.
fun for
It's
us,
crazy.
too.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
No,
that's-
even apart from like the party aspect, that's what me and him talk about too. Like, if I move out there, cool, yeah, like the whole party scene's there, but like apart from that, like there's so many businesses and like everything moving to Miami. It's
Right.
becoming a hub. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I want to move there for that.
Sure.
The connections, rubbing shoulders with certain people. Like, you never know who you're gonna run into.
Right.
Like, damn,
Network
fucking
and all
messages moved in there. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, dude, there's so many fucking people
Yeah.
going to Miami.
it's
Yeah.
similar
Crazy.
to LA, right? Where it's like you go and
No, fucking way better than LA
Really?
now.
Also-
yeah.
yeah, fuck
LA's
LA.
fucking
It's-
lost a lot of
yeah.
traction.
Yeah.
LA's not what it
Yeah.
was fucking 10 years
It's
ago.
Vegas
You know what I mean?
and LA on steroids.
Yeah.
Because you have the beach, you have the party scene, but it's just amplified. The only thing you don't have in actually Miami, you can go a little bit outside of it, is the gambling.
really.
But
Oh,
everything
for
else
Vegas?
is there.
But, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not too much of a gambler.
So-
anyways.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys been considering it too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I'll-
for a little bit. I
after we
mean,
get married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Before we
moving
have
there
kids.
temporarily.
Cool.
Yeah, I just feel like before we have kids, we have to move to Miami. for a
Well, you
little
guys
bit.
have your own
You have
place
to.
here now, right? Where you
Yeah.
guys like own the spot. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fuck, man, rent it out and go out there for a year or two and just.
That's
and
the
it,
plan.
it
Check-
works out because like we both work remotely, and so
Yeah.
that's where it's like we can just set
So
up shop
clutch.
over there. if
Yep.
we wanted
So
to.
working remotely. So just touching into that a little bit. You're in wealth management. You
Yes.
said, yeah,
Mhm.
working remote.
Yeah.
Cool. Tell me a little about the wealth management, bro.
I mean, it's
Advise us.
It's very stressful in the sense that I have very little control over what the markets do,
Right.
and that's what I do is invest my clients' money in the markets. And sure, I try to lead them in the direction that I think it's going to go, but at the end of the day, I have
You don't
zero
know.
control over
Yeah.
that.
This market's fucking crazy right
Yeah,
now.
and they expect me to have a crystal ball that I don't,
Right.
which leads to a lot of anger and frustration when markets like in 2022 just went to shit. So it's frustrating, especially being remote. You don't get that face to face where like I can look you in the eye and be like, hey,
Exactly.
like relax, it's fine, just
No,
stay the
for sure.
course.
Yeah.
So it definitely sucks a little bit, but
crazy.
being remote is
So being remote has its fucking perks, but it also has its downfalls as well. Because
100%.
like you
Yeah.
said, like even I have like employees and stuff like that where it's like being remote, it's cool, but like I wish sometimes I can be in the office with them and talk to them like face to face and be like, hey, do this and that. Like
Right.
it's just completely different being remote now.
yeah,
And it's crazy how like everything's remote now.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know?
I mean, there's pros and cons to all of
Yeah.
it. So it's just a matter of what
I'd take remote over anything.
Yeah. Same.
I think so.
I think like since COVID, everyone's realized like
You
would
can
rather
do
prioritize-
something
Yes.
without being in person.
Yeah.
Yes, and
It's
like
crazy.
you want to prioritize like your own life over your work. People
Sure.
like live to work, and it's or work to live. The
Yeah.
the two
They
different
work
sides
to
of
live,
it.
not live to work.
Yes,
or
Right.
exactly.
However that saying is.
Yeah, whatever that means. I
Yeah,
don't give
exactly.
a fuck outside of working hours. Just let me
Make
make
money
my
to be able to live the way you want.
Yeah.
That's all we're trying to say.
Exactly, but I know you've got your card.
But
and you
no.
wanted to-
What so what do you do?
I'm an accountant, so it's very basic, plain work. It's just job stability is really what it is. I mean, I'm good at it, but it's what I've stuck with for years. It's something, again, not that I want to do forever, but it's just job stability.
Are you guys trying to have the podcast like take over both of you guys' like professions now? Or
Yeah, is that the?
that's the goal. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, why not, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how sick is it like, and I think this probably leads into your guys' conversations already, which is like you're putting in the grunt work of like setting it up yourself, editing yourself.
I mean, you guys see this shit.
Yeah,
it
and
takes-
it's just hours and hours of like bullshit that you don't want to do to have the fun that this is.
Yeah.
And eventually it will grow into a podcast like full send where you can just have a team
Yeah.
like just travel with you
Yeah.
and you just sit down and shoot the shit and
Yeah.
For sure.
and that's the goal. So whether it's through
Absolutely.
YouTube or maybe like exclusive content via like Patreon or whatever.
Yeah.
So what's the like primary subject of your guys' podcast?
Honestly, just couple humor.
Yeah.
And like
we're
the,
shooting the shit.
I
Really.
love it.
and-
yeah,
I love
there's
it.
Damn,
there's
hell
zero
yeah.
direction.
I
to
laugh
it.
my ass off every time
who's
I
checking
hear
the DMs on this fucking?
She manages it.
She does.
She
okay.
manages. So that's, I guess that leads into that point too, which is I do all the editing and like the camera work, and she does all the social media management.
Yeah.
So I give her the clips, she posts them, she does
Yeah.
the captions, comments, DMs, you name it.
So when
it.
girls are giving the wink eye to Christian, she sees it first, then, huh?
So no, if anything, it's guys sliding
Yeah,
in.
no,
Like,
I was gonna say,
'Cause
guys sliding in the DMs.
Yeah, girls, it's so rare. Guys, it's a dime a dozen that slide
I
in.
disagree. Girls are aggressive.
I mean, you see the DMs, so I don't know. Tell us. Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't even have a chance. So.
in the podcast.
I mean, it's 3 versus 1, but I'd have to go with
Yeah.
a lot more guys hit on girls.
Oh,
in,
for
in the
sure.
podcast DMs, it's
Or
been mostly
personal,
girls.
either.
I don't know. Oh, personally, that's dry as the Sahara for me. For her, I'm sure it's a lot more flooded than mine.
No, it's
But
not.
Oh man.
but yeah.
Hold on, we don't want to start a fight tonight.
Oh yeah. I
No,
know.
no.
That's all. I mean, I already.
Why'd you ask that, Ty?
Yeah.
Shit.
Hey,
Hey, we'll edit that out.
Knowing who-
open your phone and show us.
Me? Okay, that's super easy.
No
but
way.
I already know
No,
who
no,
I'm
no.
dating and who I'm marrying, and if I didn't expect that already, then
Wait,
I don't
who you're
deserve
dating
her.
and who you're marrying are those two different people?
I'm just saying that's transitioning from dating to marriage. But
No, we were golfing yesterday, and he had his speaker on Bluetooth on the cart, whatever.
Yeah.
And we heard like 2 or 3 songs, like the whole 18 rounds, because most of the time I think he was texting you, like, "Hey, babe, we're just here on hole 9 or whatever,
Hell yeah.
having a good time, whatever." So I give
You were
props to my
texting
boy.
me?
Yeah,
I didn't get any texts yesterday. Who texted?
yeah, right, yeah, right.
I haven't get me in trouble.
Yeah, see, now the tables have
Oh
turned.
shit,
No.
I'm off. I'm done.
No, it's all good.
But so going back to like the whole podcast, like what I know you guys, again, we already talked about it a little bit. You were already doing your own kind of vlogs, this and that. But what, and obviously again being a couple, but what was like, we should start a podcast and it's going to be about this. Like what clicked for you guys to just be like, let's run it?
I don't know.
I
That's a
feel
good
like
question.
I feel like this is the main reason. As soon as we discovered TikTok and how funny it is and the content and stuff, we realized, like, us personally, the conversations we have amongst each other. I mean, we make each other laugh, like crying laughing sometimes. So I'm
Good,
like,
hell
Definitely.
I was and that's where I got the idea. I was like, babe, I would want people to laugh with us. It'd
Yeah.
be so funny to just set up a camera and just like, again, banter and people would laugh.
Yeah, I
you
just
know?
think that realizing that we're very relatable to a lot of different people and a lot of couples.
Yeah.
And even if you're not like in a relationship, it's still funny to like see a guy's perspective on a subject versus
Yes.
a girl's.
Yes.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
that's, I think honestly, that's the most viral content out there with
Yes.
like Fresh and Fit or the Whatever podcast.
Right.
Yep.
And it's
And the
just
difference of those is there aren't couples. I haven't seen like a pretty very big podcast that's like couples. I mean,
Right.
sure I'm sure there is one, but we have yet to see one that we've like,
yeah. I don't know.
Do it the way you guys are trying to do.
Because it's kind of one end, like you were saying, it's one end or the other. It's like guys talking about like
Yes.
yeah.
their philosophy, women talking about their philosophy,
Yeah.
but you
Right.
guys kind of
Yeah.
mesh that together and bounce each other
And whether
off.
we butt heads or not, that's part of it. you
Yeah,
know? Like,
exactly.
that's-
And just having fun,
that's-
honestly.
It's the fun part.
It's starting with the idea of like we don't care where this goes. It's just fun.
Sick.
You know.
Sick. So you got like Andrew Tate stuff, and then you got like Call Her Daddy stuff meshed in like kind of one a little bit.
That's a great. I think
right?
that's a great comparison.
Yeah.
Is she takes the Call Her Daddy stance. I take like the Andrew Tate fresh and fit stance.
Love it.
Of like it's kind of like man versus woman, right? And like
and combine it and just
Exactly.
bring it to people that kind of
It makes a dynamic
reciprocate.
duo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What was
Love
you
it.
guys like first viral kind of clip that you guys put out there?
Oh my gosh. It was
What was it?
Tell us, tell us.
It was about what was it even called? But it was about curvy women.
yeah.
It was about curving women.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
So it's
Yeah.
about you then, huh?
Yeah, well,
Oh,
it was
shit.
her asking me like a would you rather type question of
Yeah.
like, would you rather be with a girl who's like
Super fit.
insanely skinny with
Yeah.
zero curves, or
Yeah.
a girl that's very curvy?
What was the answer?
Of what do you think?
I'm not answering.
Look
I'm
who
not
I'm
gonna answer.
dating,
I'm not
bro.
gonna answer
we,
for
we
you,
should
bro.
ask you guys. We
Look
should
who
ask
I'm
you
dating.
guys.
Clearly, the answer is curvy.
Hell yeah.
And just
Hell
I think the back and forth, and a lot of the engagement in that video was driven by a lot of triggered people, to be honest. Of like,
Yeah.
which rightfully so, because that's probably very
Yeah.
easy to be offended when you're not the thing that's like
Either
being glorified.
or. Yeah, exactly.
Which, I mean, there was no bad intention there whatsoever. It's just talking about my preference. And I think that's where a
Yeah.
lot of internet hate comes in, is people just describe their preferences. And when on the receiving end, when that's not described, they get offended. And it's
Yeah.
just like,
They don't like what they hear.
Share
And
it.
then
Hey,
they want to hate on
listen
you.
to this
Yeah.
guy. Listen to this girl. Fucking
Hey, you
talking.
know what? Keep hating it. Get those numbers up.
yeah, exactly.
So
Keep talking shit.
How many views did that clip get?
2.3 million.
Yeah, over 2 million.
What?
Yeah.
2.3 million.
I
Just
think, yeah.
views, yeah.
Wow. God.
Yeah.
It was just
Damn.
but just views.
Right.
Still,
Did it hit 1 million likes?
No. I think it's got like maybe 130,000 likes or something.
that's
But-
I
insane.
think it's
though.
more than that. Babe.
But then when you get that, it's like, shit, we're actually like doing something.
Yeah.
Because again, like you guys put out however many clips before that one hit,
Right.
you get 500 views, couple thousand. One might pop off to like 10K, but then it goes back down, and then you get that one. You're like, all right,
Right.
like all this shit is
Yes.
worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you guys are kind of more, it's been more consistent, at least I've seen, where you guys are getting like 30, 50,000 views, more interaction, even more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
now it's like, now you're legging up into that other kind of
So-
upper echelon, quote unquote.
I
Right.
would say that this is kind of like a little bit going off topic, but not really. I would say that that's where like the dark side of podcast or like a content creation comes in, is like we hit that 10K, right? And we hit that like, couple million views on our video.
Couple million views, like it's nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Just a casual
fuck,
once,
dude.
but once that
I
happened,
wish.
Yeah.
but once that happened, I think for a little bit we got busy with wedding planning, and because we fell off a little bit, those numbers we stopped seeing
Yeah.
them.
It definitely gets to your head
Yeah.
for sure. And
Because
it's
it was
like,
the
like-
algorithm, huh?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
the dopamine rush of like, look at all this validation
Yeah.
that we're getting. And
Sure.
it's so toxic, because it's like, well,
And the second
now
you take a break, and it just
and it's like, well, do we create content for that validation or just for what we were
Yeah.
originally doing? And it's like,
we're like chasing that high, but it
Yeah,
also
yeah.
it's like we also need to be filming content if we want to be able
Yeah.
to pursue that lifetime goal,
Right.
So
Right.
just trying
But
to
I
have
think
fun.
if you do, like you guys have, and I'm assuming will continue to do, is like do it from within. That's why you got that many
We have
hits, is
fun.
because you were just doing you,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
Like, and then everyone kind of like floods into that, and that's why they like
Yeah.
you, they relate to you, and all of that.
Yeah.
So can
Hell
you
yeah.
like bring us through those like kind of milestones where you guys got like you guys had like a couple hundred followers and then
Right.
it bumped up to like 1,000, or how did it go? Like did it just
Yeah.
automatically just go from like a couple hundred to fucking 10,000 you have now, or how did because you guys have only been around for like a year, you said, right?
Right. I mean, yeah, I was going to say, so we were literally stuck below 100 followers for, I would say, the first few months, honestly. And it would be just like 100 views here and there with
Yeah.
like friends and family commenting on
Yeah.
it, and like which
Keep
is
going.
which is
Yeah.
sick. Honestly, I appreciate like
Yeah.
I like people don't understand how important and like appreciated that is.
Oh,
my
for
God,
sure,
that's
dude.
a
whole
for
nother
sure.
topic.
When my friends comment on our stuff, I DM them on some like, hey, I
Yes.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for following in.
Considering like
Yeah.
I have known both of you less than 99% of my friends, and you guys engage in our content more than most of our friends. It really goes to show like who is there for you versus
Right.
not. Not to
Yeah.
say that they're not there for you, but I think it says a lot going that extra step.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
and
and
we talked to. Sorry, man. No, we talked about it too, and like it's gonna be in the long run, it's gonna be people you don't know that's gonna support you more than the people you actually know.
I think
Yeah,
so.
at the beginning, it's like the people you know, but like in the long term, it's going to be the people that you have no idea about that are actually going to be like sharing your stuff, reposting, and like commenting back. Because like, I don't know, right?
Yeah. But I do think it is too, like, because we're in it.
True.
And we know.
Right.
So it's like
that's true.
Giving that extra comment there, that extra this, you know what I mean?
Right.
Where it's not that they don't care. It's kind of just like you're in your daily life. You see it, you like it, you move on.
Right.
Where if you're in it, you're in that business. You're like, hey, they need that engagement.
You appreciate it,
right?
Yeah, man.
No,
like,
of course,
dude. It's fucking Sunday. I just saw a clip before you guys even pulled up here. I fucking liked it on the spot. Like, dude, they're on their way to shoot a podcast with us. Yeah. Still doing their thing. Like, dude, that takes a lot of fucking work.
No,
yeah,
I love
it is. It is like the. I think that's one thing that it's the humility. Like you have to put aside like
your pride.
Yeah, your pride. It's like the humility, I guess would be the term, is like put that all aside to be able to put something out there that potentially people could hate or your friends could make fun of you for, but you're doing it to build that, future goal. Right. And I feel like sometimes our friend, like not our friends, but in general, your closest friends don't understand the like
what you're trying to do with
goal.
It. Right?
Yeah, what you're trying to do. So when they see it, it's like, ooh, that's cringy. Or, ooh, you know.
Yeah, because they have that perception of you already.
That perception.
Right. And not to say, and I guess
they're not doing it.
I should take that back, saying it's not like they're directly like suppressing like engagement or like not supporting it, but it's just so easy to see something and scroll past it. And you guys can understand what goes into it. And it's like, that takes a lot of work. Like that's getting a like for sure.
Right.
And
sorry,
go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was just going to say, like, I think it goes into that next point, which I'm sure you guys have seen, where like no YouTuber with 1 million subs will ever make fun of you for like starting from ground zero here, versus like a multi-million-dollar entrepreneur is ever going to make fun of you for starting a business with no sales. It's like
it's the same thing.
Right. It's because they can see what it takes, and they all started there. So
that's why we, going back to like all the editing, we asked you how you got into it. Like that's how we got into it with your help as well. Thank you very much. But also,
it was like 10 p.m. I was like, dude, this guy's so sick. Hell yeah. Thank you,
also,
bro.
like the YouTubes, like him and I we're doing it. We're figuring it out. And like going to your point is like whether they're a multimillionaire, they have 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Like if they started, and that's why we've kind of kept it close with just him and I doing stuff, not only because I think we pick out like the clips that we want, but also like putting in that work, like the analogy of basically like starting as the janitor to becoming the owner of the company.
Yes.
If you don't start from the bottom, if you just go to the top, you're not going to appreciate all the stuff that came in between.
You don't know what it takes. You don't know what it takes for sure.
Well, and you can't audit those positions below you to see if they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
And that's when things fall apart.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly, man. Even that goes into like our personal companies as well. You know what I mean? I talk to my sales guys all the time. I'm like, hey, if we need to hop on a call, you need to call me your janitor, you need to call me your assistant, whatever. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. Like, it's fucking. We all have the same goal, and it's just I don't know. Yeah.
But how do you guys deal with the hate? Going back to that,
have you guys gotten hate?
You get these shitty comments. Like, do you respond?
We've gotten actually some pretty offensive comments.
Really? No shit.
We actually, so anything that's pretty like offensive that I would say is like, it's not appropriate. I personally just remove that comment because I don't want, I don't want that to be like a consistent thing. Like, cause it's offensive, it's not like it's offensive towards us, just in general, it's offensive. Yeah. We've gotten like just a couple of those.
But what's one that sticks out?
Oh, I
wouldn't, let me hear.
I wouldn't necessarily call it offensive. But one that really sticks out to me, and it's really funny, is one guy. Obviously, I have no idea, but he's like,
"This guy's small." Yeah, right.
It's
bro.
like,
show him the guns.
It's
dog.
like this guy looks like he used to be overweight, and I'm just like, "What the fuck did you just say?"
Hey, fuck that guy, whoever that was.
But it's like, I mean, he's not wrong, but I just think it's so funny because of how analytical and how like people can pick you apart. So that's what sticks out to me personally. What about you?
We leave the hate comments. I just only remove the ones that are like super pretty out there offensive.
Yeah. Right.
But we leave all the hate comments. I mean, they're engagement. So
I mean, bad promo. I mean, whatever. It's all good promo at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. People usually, the comments that I see most about me are like that I'm insecure or that like I'm making it about me or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Is there any specific comment that sticks out to you?
No, I don't know. Nothing really sticks out to me. I
People
feel
are
like
just
there's-
fucking crew out there, like
Yeah.
in the fucking behind the keyboard. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. As opposed to if they see you in person, they would never say some shit like that.
Yeah.
Never.
You know what I mean? They get comfortable behind that behind that
Yeah.
keyboard and desktop.
I mean,
whatever.
keyboard warriors.
Yeah,
If you're not
keyboard
comfortable
warriors.
with hate, you're getting nowhere. You know.
Yeah. And that's something I'm myself getting comfortable with. It's just people just fucking they're gonna hate. You know
Right.
what I mean? It comes with the good and the bad. You know what I mean? It's part of the game. You know
I
what
think
mean?
it's the Gary Vee perspective of looking at it with empathy.
Yeah.
Of like, those people must be pretty fucking unhappy to comment something negative about someone they have no idea about.
Right.
right.
And so I just look at it like with zero emphasis.
That's
so,
good, man.
Sure.
Hell
Live and
yeah.
let live.
No, it's
Like,
props to
hey,
that, man.
Live,
have
laugh,
the
love.
empathy.
Live, laugh, love.
Hey,
Have life. Gary Vee, baby. Shout out Gary Vee. Hell yeah.
I love that. I love that. Oh
Shit.
yeah. So kind of, I want to get into a little bit on where you guys see, based off of what we kind of just spoke about, like kind of staying true to yourself or clout chasing. Where's
Right.
that fine line? Because I think it does come to a point where it's like, you see one clip that pops off and you're like, fuck,
Do I gotta follow that?
Right.
I gotta stay on that train, or is
Right.
it bringing other elements, but not just like in your own podcast, but over the podcast landscape, so to speak.
Mhm.
Like, how do you see that working within your own podcast of like adapting to changes, so to speak?
Yeah.
and
Because I mean,
stuff
yeah,
that
social
comes
media
up?
is ever changing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's always stuff that's like you got to go with the flow. There's certain shit that pops off, so you try to like get with it. Like
Right.
TikTok popped off, and you guys. Well, I mean, it's different because you guys started with TikTok, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like certain things are always coming up in social media where it's ever changing, and you guys
Right.
got to like adapt to it and like keep it going. You know what I mean?
That's a good question. I would probably say our number one principle is just making content that doesn't necessarily like tear people down.
Yeah.
Where we have conversations about other people and like what's going on in terms of like pop culture, of course.
sure.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of content out there that's specifically trolling others, and then it's also in just inviting criticism in yourself, which I think is really stupid because you never survive that.
Yeah.
And so I think just us having fun and maybe having like a playful twist on pop culture, but not
Yeah.
necessarily a degrading twist on it. So as long as it's rooted in good context, that's really our number one rule. And other than that, I think it's pretty simple.
Yeah. I feel like we're easygoing, and we try to make it organic, like organic conversation. Again, this is where the YouTube content comes in pretty well for us, is
Yeah.
that we usually just set up the camera, start talking about topics. We usually have some written down that we like have in mind.
Yeah, I was gonna ask
Yeah.
that. Like, how do you guys
We like
go
structure
into
it.
your
That's actually really funny you say that. I would say
the call her
seven-
daddy approach?
Yeah, I would say 75% of our episodes start with maybe like 5 minutes of recorded footage of us just kind of sitting there like, all right, what do you want to talk about, babe?
And then you guys pick and choose where you're gonna start it.
Yeah,
at, right?
and it
Yeah.
evolves
Yeah.
from there.
I mean, we have I on my phone, I have like things, and like usually it's stuff that like as we're living life, we're like thinking of, oh my gosh, I just thought of something that'd be a good podcast topic. We don't
Yeah.
even talk about it in the
Yes.
moment,
That's
and it's just
smart.
like we write it down.
Yes, we have a note, like an iPhone note that's edited between both of us.
Yeah,
like
it's like
it's a
collaboration.
shared note that we just
On the
continue
daily, just add
Yeah.
grocery shopping. You're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, let me add this to the
like,
note real
oh
quick.
fuck,
Yeah,
like someone
yeah.
didn't Venmo me. Like, let's talk about how annoying that is. You know, like little shit like that. We just add to it.
And I think like too, like of course the internet and TikTok and Instagram has been changing so much.
Yeah.
So you can't always make content that's going to be, you can't always make content that's going to be relevant today always. You're going to make something that it doesn't have anything to do with what's going on, current events or
current
whatever,
events,
right?
yeah.
So the least you could do is make your content either funny or relatable or something that people like, it's an easy watch.
Yeah.
You know, so again, our content, it's very relatable, I think,
Yeah.
and we just are having fun, and people laugh because they see
Yeah.
that we're having fun, and it's just
And that I think leads into the next point is, for the longest time, I fell into the trap of thinking that content had to be like adding value in the sense of like motivation or discipline. And which is like
that's
which
what
is
you
amazing.
see a lot
like
about,
I love
right?
because
Yeah.
that's what your content is, right? And I love that. I mean,
mean,
a lot
fuck,
of it is.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, considering that it's very entrepreneurship based,
But
and,
it organically
and grinding,
is for you guys,
right? And
yeah.
that's your niche, and I love that. But I realized slowly is like there's a lot of value in providing content that's just strictly entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, and just having
to
fun.
the norm.
Because when people sit down to watch something on YouTube, a lot of times they want to just chill, you know, like, and then other times they want to have a motivated podcast to learn something from. And it's like, well, you know,
and not everything's going to go viral.
Yeah.
And and again, we have the mindset now, and I want us to forever have it, is we're not doing this to go viral. We're doing it because it's fun for us. And if it becomes our like main, career and income stream, that is awesome.
Right.
So
100%.
No, you guys have a cool dynamic. I mean, because you guys have known each other for such a long time. How long have you guys been together?
Over 6.5 years.
Yeah,
now.
shit, man.
January would be 7 years.
You guys share a lot of stuff in common. I mean, fuck. Me and Ty have known each other for 10 years. You know what I mean? So it's like,
what's up, baby girl?
When's your anniversary?
What's up, baby? Hold my hand. While we finish this topic real quick.
How did you guys meet? I don't think we've ever gotten into that.
It's on our first podcast, but him and I used to valet cars at Javier's in Newport.
Sick.
Oh, no way.
Oh, that's right.
We
I
used
remember
to
that
fucking
clip.
hate each other.
Really?
Yeah, we didn't like each other at all.
We did.
So when I first showed up, I was like, who the fuck is this kid? He said the same thing. Who the fuck is this motherfucker?
Yeah.
And we didn't really start hanging out until like a year or two after we knew each other.
Sure.
Yeah.
I needed a place to live, and he was like ending a lease, and we ended up moving in together, and fucking it all went from there.
Hell yeah.
That's my dog. That's my boy forever.
Crazy shit.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
That's
Crazy
cute.
shit.
It's very rare you find that. So that's sick.
Yeah, no, I mean, friendships are hard to find for sure, man.
Yeah.
Good friendships are hard to find.
Uncircumstantial friendships.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
yeah.
Where you don't expect something from the other person. It's just like, you're both like, I don't know,
Yes.
helping each other grow, and it's, I
Yeah.
don't know. For
Having
sure.
the same mindset too is very
Exactly,
important.
yeah.
Because like high school friends that just have a completely different life direction, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that, but it's hard to maintain
is
those
hard.
friendships to be very close when you're growing apart like that.
I mean, shit, dude, we went golfing yesterday, bro. You saw he hit it first. I'd hit the ball. I'd go to the same spot where he fucking shot.
That was hilarious. You guys
Every
could
single
not
fucking
stay
hole,
away
like,
from
what
each other.
the fuck? Fucking guy,
in
bro. Get
different
away
cards.
from me.
Yeah, seriously. You can't do it.
Yeah, dude. Hey, talking about golf, dog, you're amazing, bro. You're
That's-
fucking
you're
a
good.
killer.
I
God
only
damn.
I really wanted to get good at it because I had this like itch when I was in high school, and then I just got a job at a golf course so I could play for free, because obviously as a high school kid I have no money to play because it's a very expensive sport.
It is.
And I'm thankful because that's a skill that you will have for your entire life. And a lot of business is done on the golf course too. So I think that's a sick skill to have. And she's also insanely good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you guys play together?
Yeah.
I'm not insanely good.
Well, for how little.
So honestly, is she better than us? Yeah.
no. Well,
No,
I wouldn't
straight
say.
up, bro.
yeah.
She probably
No.
is, huh?
Hey,
She is. Huh?
I wouldn't go that far. But given that she's played one round her entire life, and the first time she swung a club, she was actually making consistent contact and it was going forward.
That's good. Yeah.
Very impressive, especially for.
A lot of people are topping it or fucking slicing it and fucking
Yeah.
I slice that motherfucker every time.
Yeah. I mean,
But I hit it like a baseball.
whatever.
Hey,
If it works for
whatever,
you, yeah.
exactly.
We were
Literally.
talking about that.
It
Like,
works.
I watch YouTube videos on golf all the fucking time, and like every
Yeah.
golf video is different. So
Yep.
I'm gonna stop watching this shit, and I'm just gonna see what works for me, and like figure out my own swing, and if it works for you, and just play that and learn to grow from that. You know what I mean? For
100%.
sure. Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
What have you guys had going back to like interaction with audience, fans, all that? Like, move on to the more positive side, like a funny or like a crazy encounter with like someone commenting like in the DMs or on a comment that it's just like it clicked, it was funny. Any interaction with that?
We whenever we get DMs, it's usually and it's pretty cool to see, because this happened before the 10K mark. Is we had like one person actually like reshared our reel on their story. We had actually a few people share the reel.
Random person.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
we
No,
had
that's key.
I know,
because
exactly.
all the people that share our stuff is people that we know.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you have like someone that you don't know share,
Yes.
you're like,
No way.
oh shit.
because then it's
that's
like
bad.
a different audience.
I remember that. It was actually, we were at a party with like a whole bunch of people that we weren't close with, but we kind of knew. And someone came up to us and was like, yeah, one person that you have zero connection to sent me a clip of your podcast.
Yes.
Dude.
And same
then,
for me. One of my friends texted me and said, "Hey, like, this
I
was
saw
sent to
it.
me."
I saw it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It was pretty
Send it.
satisfying. And then, cause like he responded to that person saying like, oh, I know them.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait, what? And it was,
Yeah.
it's one of those cool, like, celebrity moments, which is I hate saying that word.
No,
but it's just like,
bro, hey,
dude,
be proud of that.
And
You're
that's
doing
where
it for a reason.
I really need to check myself, because it's like it's literally nothing in the context of social media. But
hey, what'd you do on your personal post today? What was that caption?
oh yeah, proud but never satisfied.
There you go.
Yeah,
See?
100%.
I fucking love
we
it.
we read like every single comment, we read every single message, and so it's like when we get the positive ones, or someone in the DMs like, oh my god, I would love to see you guys talk about this, or like, oh my gosh, you guys make me laugh. And we always respond to every like DM. We always make sure we comment back to anyone who's supporting us. Like it's really nice.
100%.
So what would you tell someone coming up in the podcast world like that is getting like those types of comments and stuff like that? Like how do they like reciprocate or like, you know, act on that and kind of speak back to people just like starting up? Like, I don't know.
Like, I feel like and that's the thing is we always make it a point to tell our audience, like, thank them and actively say like, we're going to commit to making sure we make more content for you. 'Cause that's like, sure, we're bringing out content and we're posting these clips, but when people are commenting and they're liking it and stuff, that's like, we need to make sure we're taking that extra step to thank them every time.
Right.
Thank you so much for
Staying
watching.
engaged
Like that last video, like appreciate the love on that, you know, and again, commenting, responding back to every single comment.
Yeah.
Especially on that viral video, it was hard to keep up on that.
Because there's so many comments.
There were so many comments.
Tyler's probably better than that than I am. Yeah.
There's
because
so many.
He can respond. And I don't really like answering text messages or DMs and stuff like that. But Tyler's like, dude, we have to respond to everyone that like messages us.
You don't have a choice.
It's like the Gary Vee thing.
Yes.
100%.
You have to.
Especially when you're smaller. Now you guys have grown, obviously, and you'll keep growing. But it's like, like you said, you have to respond to all that.
And not even responding just to say, like, because when I respond to comments, especially the positive ones, I don't just say, thank you. I actually send it back like a message, like, thank you so much for supporting us. Please stay tuned for more content. Like, I actually make sure, like, I'm talking to them. Not just
the actual comment.
Or starting a
not
conversation.
Just a generic
or
fucking
starting
like,
conversation. Or if someone comments, like, even if they don't like it, they'll be like, oh, you should talk about this. I'll be like, thanks. Well, like, stay tuned. We'll make an episode about that. Like, I want to make sure they're heard and like they're seen, because I mean, again, it's 10K, but it's every single person watching us.
It just encourages the right behavior.
10,000 followers.
Was that all organic? Everything?
It mainly, honestly, was from that one viral video. Like, we had a few hundred, it eventually eclipsed 1,000, because we've had like a couple other clips go semi-viral, and then that one really took it from like 1,000 to like 10,000.
So you guys really haven't paid for like advertisement and stuff like that?
Oh no, it's
really
strictly
we don't even
organic.
have a creator profile, actually.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
damn, that's props. That's props, because that's hard.
Yes. And for us, it was weird. So when we first started, we had TikTok and Instagram both, okay? And the way we post content is we post the same content on both platforms.
Right.
So it's just like mirrored, right?
Yeah.
At first, it was TikTok blowing up and Instagram was slow. And then I don't know when, but at some point it just flipped. And Instagram was crazy views, crazy likes, and it still is. And TikTok now is absolute crickets.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
it's funny. Most people say
Not absolute
Instagram-
crickets, but you know.
Well, yeah.
But still,
Most people would argue Instagram is dead and TikTok is the way to go viral.
but
And
for
for
us,
us,
it's
it's actually the
complete
opposite, which is interesting.
Is that what made you guys start dropping the full episodes now?
I think
Because
I
I mean,
don't know.
congratulations, you guys.
It just
you guys,
had to
You guys
happen.
dropped your first full
when was it?
YouTube like a week, 2 days ago.
Friday.
right? Yeah.
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
2
and
days
it's
ago?
Sunday now.
3 days
So
ago?
3 days ago.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
So are you guys gonna start doing that now?
100%.
Yeah.
That's the only way to go. I mean, that's the true, I think, path to like long-term success.
Was that the plan?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's always been the plan.
Yeah.
For sure.
Damn.
How long are your episodes?
Maybe 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was 27. That first one was 27
Yeah.
minutes.
It's just, I don't know. I feel like it's more digestible. It just depends on the content, you
Yeah,
know?
so I know a lot of it is like between you two. Do you guys ever plan on bringing other people on to like your podcast and stuff?
100%.
Definitely.
Interview them. And,
Yeah. And that's I guess leads me to a question for you guys is I'm sure you have like a stacked deck of guests that you'll have on as time passes. Do you have like a ranking of like if like had access to everyone in the world, like what would be your top 3 or 4 or 5
That's a good question.
guests?
I mean, shit. If we're aiming for the moon,
I mean,
like
probably
Joe
Drake.
Rogan, fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
But
Drake.
I don't. Yeah.
You want the Joe Rogan experience?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Did you say Trump? Yeah, I know, right?
There's so many good people out there like doing cool shit. So it's hard to kind of like pick and choose. But obviously like the top 5 would be like the most viral fucking podcasts out
Sure.
there would be like Nelk Boys, you know what I mean?
Right.
Which whatever. Joe Rogan, stuff like that. But there's a lot of other people that aren't that popular that have more cool stories to say. And I think that's
Right.
what we're trying to tap into.
100%.
You know what I mean? Just in our network, people that we know, people that like can kind of refer us back, people that they know that are doing cool shit. That's what we're about. Is like just, you know, again, back to the 25-8, just people that are going above and beyond the normal lifestyle, that are doing actual fucking dope stuff, whether they're athletes, whether they're entrepreneurs,
Right.
whether they're fucking working for someone else and doing dope stuff, you know, in that process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's
Definitely.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, and that's a slippery slope too, because obviously your podcast grows with the caliber of the guests that you have.
Right. Yeah, so that's
which
what
is it's very easy to start clout chasing when
Right.
that is the next step, right? But thankfully, I think in Miami, you guys will eventually you just bump shoulders with more
Yes.
like
Oh, dude.
you will
like
flourish
higher caliber
in
people.
And that's a
Yeah.
big reason why we're going out there as well. You know what I mean? Just,
Yeah.
you know, our own personal, you know, businesses, but also for the podcast, because being out there, you know, I'm very social. He knows that. He's very social. And
Right.
the people we're going to meet out there, you know,
Yeah.
that are moving out there, the businesses and stuff like that, the influencers and, you know, just all that stuff. Dude, we're going to run into some fucking dope people for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be sick.
You
I mean, it's all about contacts. I mean, we have contacts. We're gonna have, at least in our eyes, some big hitters coming up in the next couple months, stuff like that. But like you said, there's that fine line of like clout chasing, especially when you're having guests on.
Right.
But like you guys have said, and what we want to stay true to is like, if it doesn't vibe with what our intentions are and what we believe in, even if they have 1 million followers, it's kind of like it's
We're
not.
probably
It
not
doesn't
gonna
make
have 'em on.
sense,
Yeah.
Right.
right? So it's like, you know,
So
I
in
guess
one of my episodes, I always said, like, to someone listening, is like, we're always gonna have people on that if one of our like viewers can reach out to them, they would reach back out to them because
Right.
we're so cool with them and we know what kind of people they are.
Right.
We're not gonna have people on that aren't like cool,
Inaccessible.
Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not
Right.
inaccessible, but like aren't like willing to give back in that form. You
Yeah.
know
it's
what I
on
mean?
our vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on
It's
our
like
vibe,
our
yeah.
goal is to, you know, obviously grow and make this, you know, a business. We're all in on it, as the same as you two are. You know, we both have the quote unquote 9 to 5s, just like you do, but then you also have this side
Right.
hustle. You know, but it's like he was just saying, but like we've always said, is if anyone could grab any little nugget from any individual episode, like that's what I
Yeah.
truly would like.
Yeah.
Just
So
like
we're-
would
we're-
make me like happy.
Yeah.
I guess is like a plain word to say, but just
Yeah.
like inside is like that gratification of like, damn, this person got something from someone like you guys that we had on, and they took it, plugged it into whatever they're trying to do, and now they're happy as far as doing something that they maybe sat on for a couple years and
Right.
didn't do, but then they saw this and now it helped them to be like, screw it, I'm just gonna do it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. That's super valuable. 100%.
That's
Yeah,
how
so-
we kind of started too.
Yeah,
Because
I
I
mean-
feel like, again, it was like just doing it, just actually taking the step and sitting here and actually filming it is just the hardest part. If you just jump into it, that's all you need. Because we were just
Yeah.
nervous.
What's that saying?
You
You
know.
had? Aim, shoot,
Oh yeah. Ready, fire, aim.
ready,
Yeah.
fire, aim.
Yeah. Just fucking, you'll figure it out, dude. Just
Yeah.
You
go.
know? Exactly.
What were you guys'?
A lot of people are worried.
There is a little bit of you gotta like going back to
Plan
when
a
we
little bit.
originally started. You know, we're just getting our feet wet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And bro,
This guy was like, "Hey, we recorded like 1 or 2," and he's like, "Yo, let's start releasing them like once a week." I'm like,
Oh my
"Dude,
God.
That's commitment.
no, because
Woo.
the algorithm, the consistency, this and that. So it's like it's good to have different personalities,
Right.
right? But the same goal. So you rub like he has a good idea that I didn't necessarily have one on, or vice versa. And yeah, so we waited, and I think it worked in our favor to not try to just jump the gun.
Right.
But then on the flip side, yes, there comes a point where like, hey, at least when you have a little bit of like
understand
backing,
Yeah.
don't sit on it and be like,
Yes.
oh no, I can't, I need more. It's like once you have a little bit, like
Of
just go
traction.
for it and then figure it out from there.
Yes.
You gotta have a
Because-
little bit of
because at the
meat.
beginning we had like 10 podcasts pre-recorded, ready
Wow.
to go. You know what I mean? And now
That's
more
great.
recently, we're just like recording people, like we have like maybe 1 or 2 in the back and like
Right.
ready to go. You know what I mean? So we're
It's
like
like sales.
we're not sitting
Yeah.
on it so
You
much.
got to
you know
build
what I
what's
the
mean?
your
pipeline.
pipeline?
You got to build the pipeline. If
Yeah.
the pipeline goes dry,
Dude.
it's gonna be
funny.
And shout out to those people at the beginning of the podcast too that understood, and like some of them we re-recorded and like did it again, writing it back.
Sure.
But yeah, man, like I appreciate everyone from the beginning as well. You know what I mean? The people that we first shot the first 10 with, it was getting our feet wet, and yeah, man. Now that we're more fucking, you know, we understand it a little better, and the people that we bring on now, we're just we're releasing it. You know, we're recording you here now on Sunday. It's gonna be out on fucking Wednesday.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
That's a quick turnaround.
That is very quick.
Who's editing this one?
well, I don't
We'll
know.
figure
Rock,
it out.
paper,
later.
scissors.
Yeah, probably
But, hey,
both.
maybe Autopod if it works.
Yeah.
No, I mean Autopod. I still haven't. We haven't really like figured it out yet because we still don't trust it too much. Like you
Sure.
said, like
Yeah.
it does pick up the majority of the good stuff, but we're still like in the beginning stages. So we really want to get like the good stuff out there first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
What do you, like apps do you guys use for that?
What do you mean?
Like for Autopod and
Well,
all that.
it's a plugin for Premiere Pro.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just a separate like plugin, I guess you could say, or extension. And
Because
it
I've
just-
seen the videos where like some people plug in their stuff and automatically it's just like clipping,
Yes.
clipping,
That's what it
clipping.
does.
Yeah,
Done.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's just somehow you get it locked and loaded. You press edit, and it just goes. It's crazy.
Dude, that's
It's-
the future though, huh?
AI,
Yeah.
and it's like just takes away the boring shit that you don't want to do.
How do you guys feel about AI?
I like it sometimes.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's good and bad, of course. I think hopefully it doesn't have catastrophic consequences. I hope it just takes away the mundane shit that people don't care to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
And because obviously creativity, I don't think AI could ever replicate.
right.
100.
But
I think it helped
I don't know,
amplify
man.
it.
Yeah.
exactly.
I think so. You know, again, going back to Gary Vee, what he said is like, if you're good enough at what you do, it's gonna weed out the people.
That are strictly using it?
Yeah, but the people that can have not just the basic creative mind, so to speak, where they have that top tier kind of like it factor in them.
Right.
The AI is only going to amplify their work. Journalists,
I get it,
things
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So, you know, obviously with everything new and internet and stuff, I mean, not to get into it, but going back to like the .com era, like everyone thought the internet was the
Internet,
devil.
yeah.
And now no one can literally live without it.
Right.
So I think it's going to be that like huge uptake. Look at NFTs.
Right.
Logan Paul buys something for $1 million. Now it's worth like 17,000.
Well, not anymore, bro. They're probably
Oh
worth,
my
like
gosh.
a couple $100 now.
Yeah.
But I'm
NFTs,
just saying,
yeah,
like
no,
you
but I
see
get
that
it, yeah.
upswing,
Yeah.
and then it goes down, and then the ones that are there, they'll come back up. Everything else will stay at the bottom.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
.coms.
For
Yep.
sure.
You don't go on the internet and press .net.
No.
Yeah.
Same difference.
What do you guys see the Onda going off to next? I mean, maybe bringing on people and like guests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what if you guys brought on guests, what kind of conversations would those be? Like more couple topics or like
Well,
just more general? Or
I mean, for example,
yeah.
let's play pretend this is our podcast
Sure,
right now.
yeah.
We're obviously we have
25.8, baby. This is 25.8.
Yes. let's play pretend that it's the Onda Podcast at the Onda Podcast.
At the Onda Podcast, yeah.
Get the plug.
And so obviously we have our own debates of like my stance is, hey, you shouldn't dress very provocatively when you're by yourself, and because you're inviting attention that I can't monitor, right? And which she agrees with, thankfully. But maybe
Good,
there's
yeah,
another
dope,
couple where they have their own internal argument and we can go back and forth about it, right?
sure.
So, or just like you guys, like you're two single guys and maybe how you view relationships is different than how our relationship is, right? And so just talking about the different viewpoints in debates and whether it bleeds into pop culture or whatever direction that goes,
Yeah.
it's just a fun conversation.
Yeah,
So
just having it's just having the conversation. I think that because that's the thing is having guests on, you can't guarantee that there's going to be like good banter, but you just need banter. It's
Right.
just like
Yeah.
going back and forth, you know, relating on some things, complaints or whatever, just things that are, again, it's like that. I think honestly that's our niche, is like the relatable content, you know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
what can we talk about that, like, because we complain, everybody has complaints about
Yeah.
similar things and
Right.
like things that you like or whatever. So when we have guests, I think that's something that's going to be the main thing.
Sure.
Is being able to have those relatable conversations,
Right.
but with other people, because we're a couple perspective versus someone else.
Which, by the way, I don't know if you guys are actually single. If you're seeing someone, I don't want those people who are seeing that to.
I'm single, baby.
I didn't know because I don't want to know or if you're talking to someone, obviously.
Man.
I
You
don't
know
wanna,
what? If we were seeing someone, I think we'd be respectful enough to say we'd be seeing that person.
Sure.
But Tyler and I we're pretty single and just focused on the podcast, our families, our personal work, and personal development and stuff like that. But it'd be cool to be seeing someone that sees eye to eye and like relates to you and understands your point of view. Fuck yeah, if I ever met that person, 100%, why would I not be with that person or skip that opportunity or pass that opportunity, what I mean? I'd be all for it. But as of now, I think we're just more focused on what we got going on, and if someone can kind of fit that mold, cool. But if not, not knocking them. It's just
the right person will come along.
Yeah,
that's the goal, right? I mean, I think watched an interview with Drake like a couple years ago, but he was saying like, if you fit my mold, what you were just saying, then it works. Right?
I was just going to reference that interview.
If not,
I remember that
it doesn't work.
Right.
And that's fine. I think a lot of people sometimes try to fit. I mean, I've tried to do it personally. And it just, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'm not saying you're not going to have different views on certain things, but at the end of the day, you got to,
not forcing anything.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But at what point do you, where's your threshold? And not to get too deep here, but
get in there.
Obviously, you want someone that's going to fit that piece of the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Well, where's that threshold to where, okay, I need to maybe adjust something of my own to fit that person's puzzle, right?
That's true.
Because
I guess it's individual. It's more like, I don't know. It is a little kind of more.
Like,
I don't know, be more specific.
Obviously, there's things that you will never compromise on.
Right.
And I guess it's like, well, where is that line of where you are willing to compromise? That's, I think, a good question to find out.
It's a little subjective, to that person. So it depends on the relationship, you know what I mean? Because obviously you got to compromise on certain things.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But if there's certain things, it just depends. You know what I mean? It could be a million different things that you don't compromise on, but you can't compromise on certain things. So it depends. But are we people that wouldn't be willing to compromise? No. You know what I mean? For sure we'd be willing to compromise on certain subjects or topics or politics or, point of view.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
but I mean, one thing is
Tyler's about
this guy's gonna get in trouble. He's gonna get in trouble,
it's
bro.
25-8, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it. Because I want to ask you guys a question kind of based off of what I'm about to say. But so one of my non-compromising things would be, again, going back to fresh and fit, all of that is the man is the provider, essentially the man is the leader. The woman, follow is a bad word, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's there's a king and a queen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's my example is if I was dating someone, married to someone, whatever the case was, they go out to a bar or dinner or whatever and have a girls' night, don't care, don't dress a certain way, like he was saying, but also if women, if you're good looking, you're going to get hit on. And
we're not going to be with no good... fuck that. I hate to say that word. That's fucked up. That's so bad to say, but you know what I mean? The goal is to be with a good-looking girl, right? Yeah.
Right.
If you're with an attractive female, they're going to get hit on. And when you go out to public places without your mans, or even with your mans, these guys are savages, but specifically if you went out with your girls that night and a guy comes up to you as a woman and you have a guy that's not there with you and they're like, hey, let me buy you a drink. My thing that I won't compromise on is you can be respectful and nice to that guy that asked you, but you say, no, I'm good. And then if he keeps pressing and trying to have a conversation with you, that's when you can get a little bit nastier or sassy and be like, bro, back the fuck off. I have a guy. Because it comes into the conversation of being a wingman or a wingwoman for my single girlfriends. And that's where the conversation can go even deeper is when you go out with single people versus people that are couples, especially in my view, females, That's where you get the rub. And so my thing is, hey, look, you can be nice and have a conversation with the opposite sex. I have no problem with that. I'm not a control freak, but there comes a fine line in a guy's eyes where it's like, you know,
You gotta carry
I've
your
had
own,
I've had
yeah.
past relationships where I've asked that exact thing that I just brought up to you guys, and they're like, oh, but it's not a big deal. I was like, okay, so what if a girl came up to me and said that?
Right.
Oh, I'd fucking kill her. I'm like, so on my side, I have to stand back, but on your side, you want to cut the girl's throat off. Like, so that's just kind of going into that. But I wanted to ask, what's one scenario on both sides that's happened that maybe wasn't funny then, but now you kind of laugh about? That was like a girl came up to you or a guy came up to you. Nothing in between you. You two, just like from the outside. What happened?
Is there anything that comes like immediately to mind?
No.
Like where you wanted to
You
fucking kill the
guys seem
guy.
pretty fucking solid though.
Well, I think so. What I love about her,
Yeah.
and my favorite thing, and this is one of the main reasons why I'm marrying her.
Hell
is
yeah.
Is
Hell yeah. Congratulations. Congratulations.
She doesn't even think of putting herself in those situations to begin with.
Good.
So I don't even have a
Do you
story.
have a twin?
So that's what I love about her so much is
Yeah.
the situation that you just described. She doesn't even put herself in to begin with. That's why I don't even have a story to say because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I actually wanted
awesome.
to talk.
That's
I
good.
wanted to talk about that because when you were talking about it, I was like, I don't like that. So, I feel like I have a different, not different perspective, but I have a lot of different perspective on the basic like girls' night. I look at it differently, and I know a lot of girls that are the same as me, where I'm not going to go out to a bar and drink with my girls and talk to just guys or anyone really.
Right.
I'm there to hang out with my girls. If I'm going to a bar, I'm there to mingle with my girls, drink with my girls, do our own thing. I am very protective of and alert of who's around me and who's even looking at me or whatever, or my girls. I get protective. So if a guy even comes up or tries to talk to us, I am, to be quite frank, a bitch about it.
But see, that's the difference
That's the
of
best
why
thing right
he
there.
doesn't have a story.
Look at you
Right.
smile, bro. You're so
It just
fucking happy about
it makes
that.
me so happy
God
because
damn, bro.
Ear to ear. Look
You're
at
a lucky
that guy.
motherfucker, bro.
I
Hell
mean,
yeah.
considering how gorgeous and how amazing she is, and like clearly by default, if you're a guy and you see her without a companion or with me, right, is I want to pursue that. And she doesn't even put herself pursue her. Whatever. Okay. And she doesn't even put herself
In
in
that
the
situation,
position to be
yeah.
pursued, which I think we both agree on is as a woman, putting yourself in the position to be pursued
Yes.
is wrong.
Correct.
Yeah.
And most girls call that controlling. I think we both agree that that's just a boundary.
Yeah, but I
Yep.
want to back up a little bit because it's not just women. I think for both men and women, because
Yeah.
women are just as aggressive as men, depending on how much they drink.
For sure.
Or depending on how free and open they are when it comes to like making the first move and stuff with guys, right? I think it is both ends. More so guys, obviously. Guys are aggressive. I think testosterone is a big thing about
Yeah.
that. But
Yes.
again, if you are going out and you're just with your girls and you are with someone, like if I'm taken and I'm going out, I actively know that if any guy's trying to talk to me, he thinks I'm single. I am
Yeah.
by myself, or I'm with a group of girls.
sure,
So
100%,
there's
yeah.
no good that can come from talking to the other sex while you're out,
Yeah.
other than they are trying to flirt with you or whatever. Again.
Yeah, and it might be kind of shallow, but one of the main motivators of fitness for me is to make sure that when other people see us that don't know us, it looks like I actually deserve her, other than like a superficial like money or status or whatever that is.
Like, oh, she's just with him because of this. or
Right,
Yeah.
because
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
imagine
So true.
imagine if I
It
was
is
like
true, yeah.
fucking
A fat
a
dude,
fat piece of
fucking-
shit
yeah.
and like just looked awful.
Show the guns real quick, bro. Let me see. Let me see.
Ah, no,
Let
no,
me
no,
see,
show 'em the
dog.
guns.
But nonetheless, I think and that's another reason why I think hopefully, and I think this is very self like indulgent, I guess if you could call it that, is maybe she's not pursued as much is hopefully because when I stand next to her, they see it as, well, fuck.
They're intimidated.
Yeah, like I want to be intimidating. That's the
Yeah,
goal.
sure.
Because if it was some piece of shit like
You're the protector.
super overweight and it looks like that is a very
You could
real
just
possibility
shoo
that I
him
can
off
take
or
her
something.
from him.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that thought cannot enter their mind.
Because he's like my man, and then he also looks like my bodyguard. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Exactly. You got a 2-for-1
Que
special.
rico. Que rico. Puerto Rico, hell yeah. Well, fuck, man. That's dope. Oh, hell yeah. I respect that a lot. And yeah, you yourself as well, man. We've hung out like without, your spouse as well. And bro, you carry yourself well as well. You know what I mean? Like,
likewise.
You fucking, pick yourself up. And like anytime, I'm not saying it's happened or anything, but if that were ever to happen, I can see the way you'd carry yourself and like kind of, it's not what I'm interested in. I'm here with my boys having a good time and,
Sure.
Yeah,
and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
you've never made me feel like that ever. Like he doesn't even, if a girl talks to him, it's like he's very, very not cold, but in a sense you're like
just dry. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very
like,
direct.
pass the salt. All right, here you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I think the best example is like I'll be at the gym with her or without her, and obviously there's plenty of other girls that are also there. And if there's even any female within a 10-foot vicinity, I am looking straight at the floor, looking straight at the ceiling, like you get zero attention because it's a
like
form
that
of currency.
video of like
Sure.
the girl is bench pressing and she's like the bar is on her throat and she's like, oh, and it's like I have a wife.
I can't help her. Oh,
Yeah.
she's gonna die. I don't know. I can't help her.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No, that's cool, man. Hell yeah. No, well, I'm excited to have you guys on, and I'm super excited to see what's coming up next with the Onda, and you guys, bringing on more guests and stuff like that. Actually, posting full content on YouTube now, because I've been watching your short clips like forever now, and like you guys posted your first full one a week ago or a couple days ago.
Right.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see what's coming with the next ones and the people you bring on for sure, man.
Likewise.
For sure.
Yeah.
What's 5 years look like for you guys if everything goes exactly the way you want it?
I think it'd still be, influencing. My thing is, growing up, I've always had people, I appreciate you guys that look up to me. And they've always like, hey, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? Or whatever. So I want to bring people, I want to continue doing that, bringing people on that can give, tips and tricks back to the youth, the people that are following them and like can do it better than them, because like it's all about progressing and like doing shit better. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a hater, man. If you can do something better than me and like I can put you on a certain thing and you can do it better, fuck, dude, why not? You know what I mean? So it's just back to giving back and helping people out and just showing them how they can get to even further steps in whatever they were looking at. You know what I mean? Like, oh, cool, you have a podcast? Yeah, cool. Well, maybe you can do fucking a radio host or a TV show or fucking something even bigger. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
you just providing a platform for people that have no idea how to even get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my thing for sure. Yeah.
So I'll say what he didn't say is to blow this motherfucker up. And I don't say that, with an egotistical thing, but obviously the point in life, as we talked earlier, is like make money to be able to do what you want, when you want, how you want.
Yeah.
I've always said that. And people give me shit even when I was younger. I've talked about it on prior episodes, but it's like if you don't have money, you can't do anything.
Right.
You can't do what you want to do. You can't give back. The two things like you had just mentioned is like attention and money is the currency. And even more so now it's the attention because of the internet and Instagram and all this stuff that we've been talking about. But I mean, 5 years from now, I would want this to be our career and, Miami,
Still in Miami.
living in a penthouse.
Yeah.
I think we just both like giving back, bro.
Living the life, and then like opening up doors and like I don't know, opening up a boutique firm company of like how to get your podcast started or that. Like it's again always giving back, and I'll bring it back to this is working at a place like Javier's that we did in Newport. You meet obviously famous people, right?
Right.
Because it became a well-known restaurant.
Right.
And, one of the people like, I've met Magic Johnson, for example, or even like bring it back a little
Kobe,
bit, like Tim Tebow, stuff like that. And then you meet other athletes and the Magic Johnsons of the world will give you the time of day, take a picture with you, have a short conversation with you.
Yeah.
On the other end of the spectrum, you have these famous people, whether they're athletes, actors, whatever, just be total assholes.
Right.
And it's like, I can't say what I would be in that situation, but I think what I would want to be is like, be able to give back on that and not like, hey, take a quick picture and then I got to go, but at least like
Provide
taking
some
that
value.
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's very disheartening, especially if you're young, male or female, and you go to like your idol.
Yes.
And then they're like, yeah, no. So that's what I
That
would
is
say.
so, and that's so funny because influencing, that term influence, nobody ever really talks about like,
The
or
actual
even
term,
yes,
right? Yeah.
you have to be influential as a person. You are an influence. You're a role model that people look up to. So when people are influencers and they're just rude or
Douchebags,
douchebag, you said, and I just feel like you're influencing an audience. You're influencing people, even sometimes like kids, who watch or whatever, and you're trying to be an influential person. And that's what, if you're blowing up or if you're creating a podcast and creating all these streams of content that people can see and like take in, be influential. Don't just be like putting some shit out there and then someone comes up to you and actually praises you on it and you're just giving them the cold shoulder. So
that's a big pet peeve, is when online versus real life are the exact opposite, or on TV,
It's
whatever that
bullshit,
is.
bro.
Hey,
It's
we
fucking
pay
whack.
your
Yeah.
bills.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're going to be an asshole
Yeah.
to
Right.
that little kid
Yeah.
or that person,
Yeah.
adult or kid, that's coming up to you asking for a picture, autograph. Like, you know how much money you
That's
make
crazy.
and
Yes.
the influence that you have?
yeah.
No, yeah, and I
So-
grew up in like certain like neighborhoods where like these kids would never ever get to like encounter these types of like people. You know what I mean? So where they meet me and they're like, dude, you did this, you did that. I'm like, yeah, let me kind of show you how you can do that even fucking 10 times better than I can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why not, man? Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, And
Absolutely.
I'm always, I don't know. I like looking out. You know,
Yeah.
Definitely.
looking out for the people around me for sure. So
But-
yeah, 5 years from now, just keep on fucking actually influencing, actually being there, actually showing the little guys, that are next to you, like, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? And take it fucking tenfold. That's where I want to see myself 10 years from now. You know what I
Definitely.
mean?
Yeah.
How about you guys? 5 years from now, what's it look like?
I mean,
married.
Obviously married.
Fuck,
Kids,
dude, hell yeah.
Kids in 5 years?
Maybe.
Hey.
How many kids? How many kids?
I wanted to wait longer than that.
I mean, no more than 3.
More than 10 years?
No more than 5 years.
No.
Three kids?
I think maximum 3, minimum 2, depending.
Max 2.
We'll see. That's still up for debate. Timing's still up for debate. We just want to be able to be married without kids for a while, because
Absolutely.
you
Travel.
can't reverse
I
that.
agree.
Learn
I
about
agree.
each other and like
Exactly.
yeah.
And just be able to travel, and not to say that you can't with kids, but it's just a different
element.
life that we want to be selfish while we can, because there's a lot of parents out there that they just become a parent way too soon, and their kids pay that price. That we don't want that for them.
Yeah.
So if anything, I feel like it's almost selfless to be selfish,
Sure.
Yeah.
and then eventually you can be there when you want to, versus feeling like you're missing out on something.
Hell
Yeah, that's true. And a big picture too, like trying to build that income stream from something that you love to do, podcast or whatever you want to do, building out income streams so that you could be present for your kids, present for your family. And like right now, I want to be present for my own life.
Yep.
That's why I have a remote job.
Yeah.
I want to be present for my own life. I want making that podcast so that for our future kids, it's like we're present and so on and so forth. I mean, I want our kids not to have to worry, how we grew up. I feel like which has a lot of people grew up in like poverty or in like having to work.
We
much
grew up in
harder.
Orange County. Let's keep it real here.
Dude, I mean,
But, hey,
even
you
in Orange
still
County,
have
dog, you
your-
have fucking
You
Santa
got
Ana.
poverty.
Like, dude, I
understand.
got people in Santa Ana that
Yeah,
like
I
look
mean-
up to me. I'd fucking go out sometimes in like downtown Santa Ana. I'd be drunk as fuck and like spitting game to these little kids. Like, they'd look up to me with these fucking glossy eyes. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this guy's fucking like really doing it. And I'm
Right.
like, dude, I am nothing. Like, there's so much
Yeah.
more than me. You know what I mean? Like,
We wanna give
I'm
to
trying
our
to
kids
show
what
you
we
like
didn't
what's
get.
bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like,
So-
for sure.
I just think time and freedom is the goal.
Yeah.
Which, however we achieve that, if you can do that doing something you love, man, you just won life, because being able to, like you said, do what you want, when you want, with who you want, and being able to build a lifestyle around something you do love is, I mean, you can't name a better life than that, in my opinion.
Hell yeah.
1,000%.
Hell yeah.
So,
So what about the Onda? Where's the Onda in 5 years?
I mean, we would hope that it's...
I mean, you guys already got fucking 10,000 fucking followers.
That's
you guys,
literal-
you guys have
that's
fucking,
literal
all right,
dog
tell
shit.
me. Yeah, good.
Hey,
Let me
it's
know.
not.
Let me know.
We
Yeah.
appreciate every
Yeah.
10,000 of those people.
Coming
Fuck
from
yeah.
someone who's had 0 social media presence, just seeing that little K is so like it's so fucking satisfying.
We'll get there, doggy. Hell
Yeah, and it's only a matter of time. It's just time and consistency, right? And 25/8 and like being able to just grind when you don't want to is, I mean, eventually we want to build an audience so big to the point where it generates a lot of revenue from sponsors or content, whatever that is. So and that's
we're having
the goal.
fun now, but like the goal would be in 5 years to have even more fun. We have the type of fun now in our studio, in our extra bedroom at home, but to be able to take that where
which
we
is
travel.
fucking dope as fuck. Sorry to interrupt that real quick, but your guys' studio at home is fucking legit.
He
dog.
built that by hand.
Hey, shout out to you, dog.
I mean, she
shout out to
designed
both
it.
of you guys. Yeah.
She designed it. I built it.
I'm the idea man. He's the
Both of you guys
1-2
made that
punch.
shit happen. Yeah,
exactly. But I mean, eventually, just like what you guys would want, if you're in Miami and it's like, let's go rent this 200-foot yacht to film something on real quick because we have it in the
fun
budget.
with it, you know.
And it's like, I just think eventually having that time and flexibility and having that fun, and that's the only way you're going to get there is by doing something that you would do for free, which is something that you love.
Yeah.
Right? So
waking up and just fucking enjoying what you're actually doing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
Well, I mean, you guys have that mentality, you know. You have the 9 to 5s, then you do the
That
podcast.
25/8 mentality. You know what I'm
definitely.
saying?
Well, that's why, I
So-
mean, Tyler texted me asking, hey, you want to come on? And it's just like, we want to build relationships with these types of like-minded people like yourself. And
Absolutely.
we become closer friends, and we might move to Miami together with
Hell
obviously
yeah.
us two. And then we obviously know you guys out there.
Yep.
And just building that network is so key. Oh my
Yeah.
God. And so, that's the goal.
For
Well,
sure, man. Well,
we
fuck.
appreciate both
Yeah.
of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on to the 25/8. Check out the Onda Podcast, you know, with my boy Christian. And his girl
Subscribe,
Nelly.
like,
subscribe, like,
comment.
send all these fucking DMs, and my girl Nelly will respond to you guys. But honestly, guys, thank you guys for being
Yes.
on. We appreciate
Likewise.
you guys.
Thank you so much
Thank you guys
for
for having
us.
like that same mentality that we do, and just like wanting to go further and just being something bigger than yourself. You know what I mean? So, fuck, man. Thank you guys for
100%.
taking
Yeah,
time
well,
out of your day.
likewise.
We'll
It's
see you again
it's
on
Sunday.
it.
It's
We'll
Sunday
have
night,
another
8
episode.
p.m. right now, and you guys took time out of your day to come hang out with us and chit chat and
This is fun.
chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
This is fun for
the
us.
only way to do it.
I can't wait to see what you guys, go on in the next 5 years, and Tyler and I in the next 5 years. So we'll
100%.
reconnect and we'll run this back.
Off to the races,
Maybe
baby.
in Miami, we'll
Love
run this
it.
back again. And yeah, man. But thank you guys for being on. Shout out to the Onda Podcast, 25/8 guys, and salute. Yeah, cheers.
25. Hey, let's go, baby.
Let's go. Let's
Cheers.
Thank you guys. Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Likewise.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much, you guys.